Ladies and gentlemen, section 3.8, you are going to be doing a lab on this section tomorrow. There's not much that we can practice in class. This is a great little idea of the video is going to help you out completely with the lab. You've already done your pre-lab, so you have kind of an idea what to expect. You are going to be doing another titration calculation. You did them in grade 11. You did them in a little bit in chapter 1, a little bit in chapter 2, and here they are again in chapter 3. So remember, this is what your titration is going to look like tomorrow. In your burette, you're going to have your standard. You know the volume of the solution, and you're going to try to figure out the volume. You know the molarity of this solution, and you're going to do a titration to figure out the volume of this solution that you're adding. This is your known solution, and in your lab tomorrow, it will be 0.100 molar silver nitrate. You're going to be adding it to a 25 ml sample of unknown pool water concentration. And inside that pool water will be a few drops of sodium chromate. And your endpoint, or your stoichiometric point, which is basically the same thing, this titration is over when you see the hintest color of orange in your solution. Not your white precipitate that's probably going to form, but in your solution. When the slightest color of orange forms, you're done, and you're going to record that volume, and you're going to do it 3 or 4 or 5 times. We're going to figure out the actual concentration of chlorine in my neighbor's pool. So let's do an example here. Let's pretend we've done the titration. We're using 0.1 molar AgNO3, pretty similar to your lab tomorrow. I'm going to do the titration 4 times, and those are the volumes that I got 4 times. These are not going to be your volumes tomorrow. That would be foolish me doing that right now. These are numbers that I just made up. So let's pretend that my first trial was way off. 18.25 isn't close enough to 17.8, 17.9, 17.8. So I'm going to discard my first trial, and I'm going to find the average of just those 3. Add them all up, divide by 3. That's my average in milliliters. Okay? What we need to do is figure out the concentration of our unknown. So we have to find the moles of what we added and go through the ratio. So what do we know? We know the liters, and we know the molarity of our initial standard. And then that's what we use to find moles. So our liters is this number divided by 1,000. 0.01788 liters times the molarity, which is in the question, 0.100, gives me another smaller number, 0.01788 moles. And this is of AgNO3. Well, NO3 is a spectator. We don't care about that. We just care about Ag. And there's a 1-to-1 ratio between Ag in AgNO3. So this is actually the moles of Ag+. And the net ionic equation for the reaction that we know is taking place is you're adding Ag+ to an unknown solution of Cl- until we see this form. The endpoint tells us when this reaction is over. So we know the ratio. We know the ratio is 1-to-1. We know the moles of Ag. So this actually equals the moles of Cl- as well, because there's a 1-to-1 ratio there. So what we care about is molarity. What is the concentration of our Cl? So it's moles over liters. Well, we know the moles. It's the exact same number we just written down. Divided by the liters, that's our sample size. 25 mils in liters. So, according to this question, that divided by that gives me a concentration of 0.0715 big M. So that would be the concentration of chloride in my neighbor's pool. The whole idea here is to start off with your known, go through a ratio to find your unknown. It's just stoichiometry, but it's given to you in what seems to be a more complicated way. So you have to pay attention to what 2 numbers you're starting with, liters and molarity of your known, and you got to go find the liters and molarity of your unknown. Okay? Give these a quick read. Stoichiometry point and end point is just where the equation's over, where your ratio is true. Okay? You're going to try this one in class tomorrow, or not, if you're totally stoked with everything. but this will help you with your lab. Find your moles of what you're using, then write the net ionic equation between the two, 1-to-1 ratio to your Cl, and then you got moles over liters to get whatever you need to find in the question. Okay, and then we will do this one in class as well. Okay, so have fun in your lab tomorrow. You guys are ready to roll.